I have been planning to make this video about veganism for a long time, and today I got some time, so I'll make this comprehensive video. It would be a one take video. I'm not going to cut it or do any kind of edits on it. So I'm just going to talk about what I think about the idea of veganism and what's the Islamic understanding of this idea. First of all, if you were someone who has some issue with eating beef or eating meat or taking protein, you can adopt a lifestyle of veganism or vegetarianism if you want to. If your doctor suggests you to do that, there is no issue in Islam for that. You can do that. But if you take it as a if you consider it as a something as morally superior than Islam, then and you try to preach it and you try to convert people into veganism and you consider it a religion, then the problem starts, because you are contradicting with Islamic belief and Islamic God's command, because God has allowed us to eat meat. God has allowed us to eat protein, and who you can't tell people that you can't do that because your ideology, your understanding of this world tells you to, or make you believe that you it is immoral to do so. Whatever God made it moral for us to do, we are going to do it. So from Islamic perspective, it is okay to eat halal meat and okay to consume halal protein, animals which is slaughtered in a halal way. In mod in Most of that vegans usually have problems with the industrialized way or process of cultivating meat and taking industrialized farming of animal. Many Islamic scholars are also against it, because the way animals are treated in those industrialized farm, it is unfair to them. And we know that they are abused in certain cases, and the way they are slaughtered is also inhuman. Islam do not permit that. Islam tells that you have to take care of your animals, the farming animals you have to give them proper food, proper nutrition, uh, a very good place to live so that they don't have any issue, they don't fall sick. And you can't kill an animal which did not reach a certain age. You cannot kill children animal, you cannot kill cubs, sorry, you cannot kill the little animals. So the animals need to reach a certain age before you are permitted to slaughter them in the name of God. So there is one thing. So and you are not allowed to slaughter all animals. Only domesticated animals are permitted to slaughter, like cows, goats, um, camels. There are certain animals which are not predators. They have hoofs, and mostly domesticated animals are permitted for Muslims to slaughter and in the name of God, and then we are allowed to consume their meat. And certain wild animals are also permitted for us to slaughter, such as deer, wild ox, wild buffalo, and animals which are not predators. So these are the land animals that we as a Muslims are allowed to kill and allowed to eat, consume. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed us to consume most of the river and animals that are on the sea, as long as it is not poisonous, as long as it is not harmful for your health. And there are certain disputes, there are certain fatwa. Some scholars do not permit us do not permit or says that you are not allowed to consume shrimp, crabs, because it does not fall under fish. Some will say that you are not allowed to consume octopus, you are not allowed to consume squid, because these are also do not fall under fish. So there are some disputes, and some do scholars do allow them and say that yeah, you can go on and eat them. So this is Islamic perspective, and you need to, as a Muslims, you need to follow a certain slaughtering process before to make it halal, to make the animal halal. You have to first, I have already mentioned that it need to reach a certain age. After that, you have to give it a clean bath. Then you cannot slaughter it in front of another animal, or you cannot slaughter one animal in front of another animal. Even if you are not allowed to sharpen the knife that will be used to slaughter that animal in front of that animal, because the animals understand this stuff and it hurts them, it annoys them mentally. Yes, that's why Islam do not permit it. And when slaughtering it, you need to recite verses from Quran to calm it, and you can find lots of videos in YouTube that this is actually true. When you read the verse, it actually calms the animal. And then you take the knife and you have to cut you have to slaughter it in a certain way with just one cut, so that the blood runs out very fast. And we know from science that when the blood drains from its body and it this it the connection between the brain and body is not there, the animal do not feel as much as pain, as the blood is already drained out, and the brain is not connected with the body. So the animal the process is more human, and the animal do not feel that much pain. And we know this from science. And the industrial way of slaughtering an animal, which involves shooting it in the head, means it usually clots it bloods, and it is actually more painful way to slaughter an animal. So this is why the halal process is the most humane and most natural way to slaughter any animal. And we know that for an animal to be slaughtered in the name of God is one of the highest um, respect it can achieve. And as if you are a believer, if you're a Muslim, you know that it is the one of the highest respect for them. So from the perspective of animal shouldn't have any issue when it is getting slaughtered in the name of God, rather than dying out of old age, ridden with lots of disease. And eventually, most of the time, they are slaughtered when they reach old age in the Western liberal world as well, because they think that it is the time for them to die. And we don't do that, and we use all the parts of the animal. We eat all the meat, we use the skin, we use the hoofs, we even use the horns to make stuff. So none of the parts of the animal is wasted. So this is the Islamic perspective. And when it comes to veganism, usually vegans, they try to bring the point that we don't need to consume animals anymore, because we can get supplements, that is we can get the nutrients from different supplements that are available in the market, which is a useless argument. If you talk to a guy, if you tell this to a guy from Bangladesh who is probably working in a brick field, and you tell them you can't eat meat, you have to take these supplements, he is going to say you are mad, because that guy don't have the funds or the money to buy supplements for nutrients. That guy do not have the time to manage supplements. To be that guy probably have 1 or 2 meals a day, and he works his ass off throughout the day. He doesn't need supplements. He doesn't have the time to think about supplements. His source of proteins and nutrients are eggs and fish mostly. They don't even get to eat chicken every now and then, probably once in a month or twice in a month. And most of them don't even see beef, if it is not for Qurbani Eid. So, yeah, this is the life of the majority of the people in this country. And if you tell them you don't need to eat meat, fish, eggs, or milk, you can get these the nutrients that you want from the supplements, they are going to tell you are just mad, because this is not a feasible solution for most of the people who lives in a country like Bangladesh. It is maybe a considerable solution for someone who lives in a first world country and who has lots of money, and if he wants to live a vegan life, it is easier for them because they have the access of those supplements. It is not a recommendable suggestion and not a efficient way of life for the people who lives in this country or countries like Bangladesh. Then these vegans goes around saying that, yeah, why would we need to get those nutrients when there are animals who can get those nutrients from vegetables and natural sources, which is another stupid argument, because our digestive systems are not same. A digestive system of a chimpanzee or a gorilla would not be same as human. We are omnivorous animals. God gave us, if you are a believer of God, you can be a vegan. You cannot be a vegan, because we know from our design that we are designed to have meat and vegetable at the same time. We have teeth, and our mouth is designed to chew meat and vegetable both. We have digestive system that allows us to consume and digest meat and vegetable both. So God gave us this digestive system, this body, this type of attributes, so that we can consume both of this stuff. That is why we are attracted, and we feel attracted towards appealed we are appealed towards meat and vegetable both. My son, who's just 3 years old, he always likes to eat meat. If he was given vegetables instead of meat, sometimes he gets angry. He doesn't understand veganism. He doesn't understand any of this stuff. But naturally, this proves naturally he is attracted towards meat, and he also eat vegetables. So naturally, it is in our DNA to consume meat, and we are designed to consume meat. So the idea of veganism do not exist, or it is totally futile if you believe in God, because God designed in a way so that we are omnivorous, we have to eat meat. Then again, some of the vegans goes around and saying that same stuff. They says veganism is the only way, but if you talk to doctors, nutritionist expert in this field, they will say you otherwise, because veganism is not only way. If you follow vegan diet, eventually in the long run you will feel sick, you will have lack of nutrients in your body, which you won't get anywhere else except from meat. beef has certain nutrients that you can get anywhere else. Eggs has certain nutrients that you can't get anywhere else, from anywhere else, except you start taking supplements. And I have already proved you that that is not a feasible option for most of the people. So yeah, I don't need to say any more things about veganism. I think it is enough. And if you are someone who is knowledgeable, you will understand that veganism is a concept that is made by some very unintelligent people who thinks that they are morally superior, which but the truth is they are not. God gave us and God created us as predators, and we know that when a predator is extinct from an environment, there will be a natural collapse. Let me give you certain example. When in certain parts of Australia, when they hunted all the um, uh, wolf down, then suddenly there became a rise of rabbits and rodents that that destroyed the crops of the farmers, and they understood that predator is needed. And it applies for any environment we have in our world. You need predators, and we human are predators. If we stop consuming the meats of beef, meats of cows, buffalo, chicken, there will be many issues throughout the environment. Either these animals will go extinct, or they will grow to the point, they will breed to the point it would be impossible for the environment to handle them, and there will be a natural disaster, because the environment also has to feed them at the same time. The whole equilibrium of the environment will be disrupted. So we know that this idea of veganism is a faulty idea, and if you are an intelligent person, you shouldn't follow this kind of ideologies.